Hi, I'm disability lawyer David Brannen, founder and managing lawyer here at Resolute Legal. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about when your short-term disability ends, how do you make the decision whether to go on to long-term disability or try a return to work with your employer. This is a common dilemma that comes up when people are getting near the end of their short-term disability claim. So if you like this video, hit that like button, leave your questions below, and don't forget to check back here because these videos come out a few times a week. And hit the bell notification so you'll get notice of these videos coming out. So here's your situation. You're on short-term disability. It's coming up to the end of your short-term disability period, which is typically around 17 weeks or so, and you and your doctor are trying to figure out what is the best way forward here. You're not 100% sure if you're ready to go back to work full steam ahead, but you're also not thrilled about the idea of going on long-term disability, and sometimes your doctor is even more resistant to wanting that to happen. Doctors know that the longer people are off work, the harder it is to get back to work. So while a lot of doctors will support a short-term disability, they will often want to steer you to at least try to get back to work before signing off on you going off on a long-term disability, which could take you another 2 years of coverage of being out of the workforce. So one of the key questions to ask here is, where's your doctor at on this and where are you at? If you really get the sense that your doctor really would like to see you try a return to work, then you by all means should try to do it. Even if you personally believe it's going to be a failure, sometimes you have to do this in order to let the doctor know that you are just not giving up, that you're trying, and it will help bring the doctor around and give them a way to be able to say, look, I wanted her to try a return to work. She did it. We monitored the symptoms and they got worse. So I am confident that she needs to be off on this long-term disability. So in that type of situation, it is very helpful to try the return to work. If the insurance is really pushing you to do a return to work, your doctor's kind of on the fence or doesn't quite support it, even in that situation, I'm still telling people, why don't you just try the return to work? Maybe you'll only last a few days. Do whatever you can and show that you're a willing participant to try. Often when the insurance company wants you to try, they will usually have some medical background behind that. It's often just an opinion from their own doctor or that kind of thing. But it's often worthwhile to call them on that. Now, sometimes maybe it'll work out. But if it clearly doesn't work out, but you were at least open to it and you tried, that is extremely helpful to you in having the insurance company approve the long-term disability claim and also having your doctor give a much stronger opinion. Whenever you can say that you've tried and you, especially with return to work, the more you can show you've tried to do it, the stronger your case becomes. The big weakness in long-term disability claims is this idea that you didn't try hard enough. You didn't try hard enough medically, you didn't try hard enough to go back to work. Whenever you can get that argument against you out, your case becomes much stronger, more likely to be approved. Something I'll often tell people that catches them off guard is, why don't you do both? Apply for long-term disability, but at the same time, try a return to work. They're not mutually exclusive, and a lot of doctors aren't aware of that either. So when we're helping people with long-term disability applications, I'll write to the doctor and tell them, look, we want this client to try to get back to work, but it's in their interest, especially how long they're already going to be past the deadline to apply for long-term disability. Really, it's in their interest to at least apply and have that process going on. They've complied with all the deadlines. That way, if the return to work doesn't work out, they can go right into the long-term disability claim. Also, depending on how much time they're going to need to transition to work, maybe the long-term disability will pay part of their salary to help them come in at maybe working part-time and work their way up. So there's many reasons why you would want to do both. Sometimes people think it's this either or, and it is not that at all. Usually the best decision is try both. And it's not inconsistent because you are showing a good faith effort to go back to work, but you have reservations and maybe you can't even get back to full time. That completely justifies applying for the long-term disability as well. But the most important thing is whenever you're doing one of these return to work situations, it is critical that you go to your doctor more frequently than you normally would to have them record your symptoms, talk about how you're doing, maybe up the medications. You want to show that you and the doctor worked towards trying to make this work. You didn't just sort of jump out at the first sign of trouble. Maybe the doctor adjusted things, you adjusted your work hours or things like that. You want to get all this recorded in your doctor's medical notes so that there's evidence that you tried. And again, this will all help with your relationship with the doctor, who most doctors just want to see patients trying their best to remain in the workforce because they know how difficult it is to get people back into the workforce the longer you are out. That's all for now. We look forward to seeing you back here next time, and take care.